are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets, and they own all the big all the big media companies. So they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls.
Yes, and you know what this is? This is Crypto B-Boy coming at you. Yeah, we got some stuff a little bit going on today. I'm going to give you some news, some more information about, well, actually, going down deep into the rabbit hole information. I haven't given it. This is an introduction, which you just saw. And, you know, we'll get in, and we got some other stuff that you might want to get into, of course, like with T's Crypto Spot. Again, on this third video that I'm doing for him. So let's get back in there. You ready? Let's get it. Are you ready? Let's get it. Alrighty then. Yeah, man. So we'll start off, you know, and get into T's Crypto Spot because I want to. This video is basically mainly for him and those who were speaking on his platform, you know, on his in the panel, or actually the on stage, we'd rather say, because that's the Twitter Spaces. Their stages, and people come up and they, you know, with requests and they speak. So, but basically, most people know, and those of you who are following me, and you know, y'all pretty much know what Twitter Spaces, I'm sure. All right, so here we go. Let's open that up. No, that's wrong. I'm sorry. Give me a minute. Okay, so let's open this up and listen to where we at on it, on the messaging / crypto, what happens in the future, and random crypto talk, which was T's Crypto Spot, or it's Crypto Space. I mean, T's Space, Twitter Space, and you had Quincy that spoke, and I let the last video I let you listen to him. Scam spoke before him, and then there's this audacious investor guy, and you know, in the past there was some issues with him between T and him, but that got kind of like resolved. And you know, we're adults, so we're gonna resolve things. And T is a grown dude that, I mean, when I'm saying he's mature in his way that he comes about and deals with the people, and we all have to be that way. You can't come at the people like some young kids in high school, you know what I'm saying? Especially these days that these guys have no value and they just want to go out there and get into brawling and fighting and try to smoke somebody. This is not the you know, the place for that. This is online. I mean, we've learned that people have gone so far that people have gotten hurt and killed outside of that. You know, it's crazy. But the point I'm saying is that you have to have respect, and we got to be respectful, and we got to be grown adults. And we're going to disagree on things, and then we go there and we resolve the disagreement, or if we can't, then we move on to the next. And we basically should be trying to help each other and to build in this crypto space all together as a whole, not let alone just any, you know, particular community or project community or community project or whatever you want to call it. You know, and we're all in this together, and we want you know, some good to come out of this environment, and to grow and expand and to go into the future for our children. So as far as, you know, them at least benefiting from, you know, the wealth, and then we leave legacy wealth, you know what I mean? So this is what is going on. So let's get into it. Alrighty, ready? Let's listen. I think T is speaking at this point. Let's see. And then it's going to go into, I think Audacious is going to come in, and he's going to ask this question to the you know, guys that are up there on the stage, Quincy, Scams, OT, and then I think Quincy, more or less, from what I remember, Quincy answers the question. So let's go.
And so I think, you know, for me, if there are people out there who are going to promote projects who may not have the most utility, or some of them may even, we're just going to call it what it is. Some of them may actually be pump and dumps, right? That's okay, right? I'm going to say that's okay if you're going to promote it, but promote it as such. And if you're well versed in the space, and you have people jumping into these high volatility projects that they may need to exit quickly out of, and you know how to do it, then it's your responsibility to educate people on what it is before they jump in with full transparency and let them know, look, this could potentially be some sort of a pull. So you may need to get out at such and such entry or exit point, excuse me. And like I said, man, the name of the game here, for those who are not passionate about the tech, who aren't in the tech field, who could care less about what makes what do what, you're here to make money, right? And I think it's safe to assume that everyone here would like to make, some profits, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't be investing hard-earned money into this stuff, hypothetically, of course, because as I always say, we can't confirm that we even hold any crypto. But if we did, right, that's what we would be doing. So with that being said, I don't have anything personal against any project per se, or people who promote projects, because the community wouldn't be the community if we didn't have variety, right? I just think, like I said, regarding that type of stuff, make sure that if you're in something that's dangerous in nature potentially, but there's a ton of money that could be made in a short period of time, that you're educating people on that. Because some people will jump into stuff like Doge and they'll think it's a long-term hold, and if I wait 5 years or so, and I put $1,000 in this, I'm going to be a billionaire. And then, it doesn't exactly pan out that way. And now you got someone that's angry, because they had, false expectations.
And, not everybody's going to take his advice. People going to still do what the heck they want to do, and they're going to still make issues, and they're going to still come at each other. It's just what it is. But I get T, and he's on point with that. And, he's trying to get people to realize all this other stuff is ridiculous. Come on, grow the heck up.
Off of, what some of the stuff could do. So that's just, touching on that. As far as regulations and the geopolitical landscape, I think this is all a show, man. I truly believe, and I know we talk a lot about the Ripple lawsuit and the SEC, but I think this is so much bigger than just Ripple. And I always thought that, from the start.
And even Ripple says that. Brad speaks about that. He says it's beyond Ripple and the XRP case. In some of his talks, he'll speak about this is very important to the crypto space as a whole, because we're all in it together. And they're all part of the plan that the powers that be is against crypto as a whole, not just against Ripple. Ripple is just one of the people they came after, the company, because they know they were the biggest fintech company that had their stuff together, that they were sitting in meetings with the IMF and the World Economic Forum types of people, and dealing with these top of the line people up at the top. That's part of the powers that be. And those that, and within the powers that be, are at each other's necks as well, because they're like, hey, how did they get out there? How did they get to do that? And wait a minute, hold on, we can't get them and let them just go. We got to hold this up. We got to hold this up because we got things we got to do first. We got to put stuff into place. We still need to have control. We still have to have control over this. We can't just let people go and then get everything. No. We got to keep that control, put a cap on how many people in the population of human race is going to have control over wealth. And that's it. Point blank. All part of the plan.
This is going to affect the entire landscape as we know it. And we have a request, so let's see who we got. We've got the Audacious one. We're going to go ahead and bring him up to the stage. And Audacious, you can go ahead and come off mute, say what's up to everyone, and give your perspectives and opinions.
Hello, T.
Hey, what's going on, man?
I'm good, man. I just want to ask a quick question, then I'm going to jump back down. I know there's quite a few people in the panel, so people that are probably smarter than me, much smarter than me. So the question is in regards to, it's a hypothetical question. So in regards to the side chains and public chains, the main chain and side chains. So on the XRP ledger, imagine we have two side chains and they want to communicate with each other. So if it has to go through the main chain, and
which the main chain is the main net. That's what he's trying to basically say.
we know the main chain can hypothetically do up to, in theory, up to 1,500 transactions per second, TPS. But on the side chains, it's scalable. So the TPS could be up to whatever, 50,000, 100,000 plus, whatever. So how would it work for the side chains to pass information to another side chain by going through the main chain when there's a massive difference in terms of what the main chain can actually handle in terms of TPS compared to the side chain? So it's like a side chain that can do up to 100,000 TPS is relying upon the XRP ledger main network, which can just handle up to 1,500, potentially speaking, to then pass that XRP onto another side chain. So I just don't understand how would the main chain be able to handle that if the TPS is at 1,500. If I'm making any sense.
I can chime in here and explain. So one, when it comes to at least XRP's federated side.
And this is Quincy speaking, if those of you who do not recognize his voice, but this is my man, Quincy.
Chains. TPS isn't anything like too ridiculous. The TPS is typically on par. Other EVM side chains also. But also with that, these side chains aren't necessarily meant to have information. They're essentially meant to host and manage data for applications that may be dependent, and they pass value on.
Pass value. Thank you. Okay. And then what I'm saying, from when I say thank you, is that some people think that through the limits of some of these of the blockchain, the mainnet, that okay, so it's a limit of only 1,500, right? Or so forth. What he said, right? So how can it, do the interoperability with the other side chains to be able to, facilitate the functions that he's trying to say? My man just answered simple right there. They're not only, the side chains are not only mainly basic to function to merge or to interact with the mainnet. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to know a little more before you get out there. But he's asking a question. I'm not talking about audacious investor. He's asking a question. Hopefully it's genuinely sincere, that because he wants to know, not to base a position to take against XRP or the mainnet of the XRPL, if we already know what some people try to do. Okay.
Onto the main chain. So if you had sidechain A and sidechain B, and they had their own respective economies, the only thing that they would be exchanging with each other is value. And they would just use the main chain to do that. So if I had an application I was running on some private federators on some sidechain of mine, and I was running a private application, and let's say there was a that was running another application on a sidechain, sidechains have a gateway address, and sidechains can just point to each other's gateway address as value. Not data. You see what I mean?
So
I see what he means. Hopefully he sees what he means. But the point I'm saying is that, there's limits to everything. And some things are not going to function. Yeah, we know that. But we need to learn, like T has been saying, and get into the tech. If you're gonna question the tech, you need to go for a little further. I don't question the tech. That's not my position. I'm more into the investment part and perspective of entering into this crypto space. That's where I'm coming in. Also on a business level, I've developed to fully really even want to indulge in going into the business area with the crypto. But of course, I'm going to deal with somebody like these guys. Even if T would to be able to, or Quincy was able to help me along the lines of growing and building up what project I'm going to do. And I'm not going to here to divulge that here. That's my business. But, because I know how things are and how people are. People are underhanded, and they do things, and they, just a lot of underhanded, disingenuous stuff going on in the crypto space, man. It's just sad. But anyway, let him continue.
So when you say moving value, are we talking about XRP here, for example?
could be XRP, it could be a derivative token. If you want to create your own private derivative token or point token on your chain that can move on to the main. But essentially, the thing that's moving is either an issued asset or XRP. Not like you're not essentially making any execution of data change in that capacity. You're just moving an abstract form of it, whether it's XRP, whether it be derivative token, issued asset, whatever it may be. But it's no different than address A and address B of any other address on the XRP ledger or any other chain, essentially communicating with each other. It's just that they act as to these federated sidechains. Does that make sense? So if I want to interact with that, if I want to send value to that sidechain, I would send it through that gateway address, which would be, in theory, no different than any other address. That address is associated
right.
with the sidechain.
But I think his point was, if you sent that value to the sidechain, right?
This is scam, so let's hear what he's saying.
But then you wanted to interact with some value that was only on another sidechain B, you're not able to go from sidechain A to sidechain B. You would have to send the value back onto the mainnet, and then you would have to go to the other sidechain in order to move your value there.
You would essentially, so both sidechains would be looking at each other through an address. So in theory, like the way a sidechain is to another sidechain is the same way an address is to another address. You see what I mean?
No, that's just not true with the way federated sidechains are built, because you have to have the value. Basically, you're just wrapping the...
I didn't get to this part, you see, but this is the juicy part, I guess, because now Scams is like coming at Quincy. So let's hear, and this is probably going to be a little longer on this video. Let's go through. All righty, people.
The asset from the main chain on the second chain, right? So you have the federator is controlling the funds on the main chain, just basically locked up cryptographically, and then you're releasing them on the other side chain. You have no ability to move from side chain to side chain because you're only dealing with the federator of the individual side chain, and they would still be locking up those assets related to the wrapped asset on your side chain. So you can't move within side chains. You have to unwrap the asset, go back onto main chain, and then from there you can rewrap your asset in some other type of value on the second side chain, but you can't go from A directly to B.
So I understand that notion of it, and I guess I kind of just jumped over that, but the notion of it is that these two chains aren't communicating with each other. They're communicating with the network, and the purpose of it. Obviously, essentially, to move them on and move them around. That's the same thing as an issued asset. Obviously, extra step, but that's sort of my general point.
Well, it sounds like you both are saying pretty similar things, and what Audacious is essentially touching on. So the advertised TPS regarding the XRPL public mainnet is 1,500, but if you look at documentation regarding the CBDC private ledger, so I think that's what needs to be specified. What he's referring to, truthfully, is the CBDC private ledger.
Oh, people, I wanted to make sure that, if you are not already subscribed so you can get more future videos, it doesn't cost you any money. Subscribe with your bro, Crypto B-Boy, and, click the like button as you come in. That helps with the algorithm, helps to get the videos out to you as well as others. With that algorithm, sending it to being into a position where YouTube will send it further past the limit that it might be, and you'll see it pop up in the feed of regular videos that fall into the same category. And I'll be there for you, so you can listen to Crypto B-Boy with what he brings. Okay, and that's all. I appreciate it, but keep up with your bro and subscribe. Thank you. All right, continue.
Sure. Essentially being able to, facilitate a way higher TPS than the XRPL public mainnet in comparison to the two. So if you have central bank A that has, let's say, technology obviously based off of the XRPL mainnet because it's a CBDC private ledger built by Ripple, and then you have another central bank in another country that's based off of the same XRPL mainnet public framework, and they wanted, this institution wanted to send a certain amount of value in a certain amount of time to the other institution that also had the same private framework. If both of those private CBDC ledgers can handle up to 10,000 TPS, and the XRPL mainnet is advertised as only being able to facilitate 1,500 TPS. I think that's what Audacious was kind of asking. How does that work in that environment? Can those two private environments facilitate value through the mainnet at a rate that's equal to what they can handle on those private CBDC ledgers? I could be wrong, but I think that's what he's asking.
Yeah, basically that. Sorry, go ahead. But that's exactly what I'm pretty much asking.
I don't think that, I think it would be, if you look at it that way, there's a slowdown in some regard. You're not going to get this in that regard, but I guess I just misunderstood what you meant, so it's not bad.
I think the other important thing to understand is that you said the CBDC ledger. There isn't like a single CBDC ledger, right? Like basically any single central bank can spin up their own CBDC ledger. Like that's what Ripple has basically been saying. Like this is what you can do with our product, and then is what happens is they're all, if they connect back into mainnet. And that's the way they decide to design it, because they still could operate independently. Then basically is what happens is you have all these different side chains. So in order to then swap, let's say, for one CBDC to another, you still need to move that value back down to the mainnet and then back up to another one.
My point is like, what are you trying to get at? I mean, Audacious Investor, I don't know his intent with these questions. And Scams is like, like we know Scams. We know he's very argumentative. He wants to debate it, and that's what he does. If he sees anything that is not to his agreement, he's going to debate it. And hey, he's all right of doing such. But anyway, what is the main purpose? Like, why do are you trying to devalue the functions of XRP and its value? Like devalue it, like say it's not valuable enough. You're not going to get any value out of it. So you guys who are regular retail investors in the XRP digital currency or XRP asset, cryptocurrency coin, right? Are you going to get any value? And this is what I believe that, and I'm not going to say straight up Scams on. That's what his main, focus is to try to prove that value, the value of XRP is not up to the level of what XRP holders or people who put their hopes and trust and monies and investing time in it, that is gonna bring us any value from as far as an investment profit or as any growth in it. I would like to know that. I mean, and if Scams, if you want to come to me and you want to say something in the Twitter space, and even if you have to, like kind of, which I'm nobody, because you guys, and I know you're at the forefront of the name and the people who are up there you would go to a movie theater or you go to see a show and you see the people, the headliners, and then up on the top of that thing that goes over the can't remember the name of that daggone thing, the matinee or something like that. But come on, man, what are we doing here? But I understand. You're trying to get to, and T tries to get to the points of what we need to know so that people can have a better understanding of what they hold and feel better about it. And that's where he comes off. He really and Quincy. He tries to bring what he understands about these things and gets it all out clear to let it be known that these things have functions. The XRPL is a functional system, and XRP being of the coin that is tied in, it has function, it has use case. So I don't know what they've been trying to do and what they keep trying to do, but hey, that's them. All right, so anyway, I'm going to stop there, and I may go and do another video. I may do another video with him, with, my man T doing his thing and trying to get stuff out there and get people better awareness and more shout-outs to him, and thank you to T for doing that. and then Quincy being there, and the scams, whatever his interior motives is, if he has any or not. I just know his patterns. I know how he rolls. So I'll go from there. I mean, I'm not an enemy to him, but I don't also, you know, I'm not too keen to him and his ways. You know what I'm saying? Because I see what he comes with, and I see who he be with, and what he comes to do. As far as audacious investor, you know, recently I saw something in Kirk. You know, K Moore and audacious investor. You need to realize that, you know, come on, man. You know, you got to get better with that. And I don't know where you're going. You're getting back into being up under the, you know, the same kind of, well, you was kind of by yourself on that outside point with the issues going between back and forth with you and T. And then now you getting K Moore a little bit, you know, alerted on you. You know, so you need to just chill, and you need to just keep doing what you do as an investor. You say you're an audacious investor, and you say you're a contrarian investor. So keep doing what you do. Those things in there, those traits in there, those things that have to do with being contrarian and does not speak about trying to go on a conquest, or excuse me, not a conquest, but maybe a what do you call what I said about crypto Rick, aka cryptocurrent crusade. That's what I was trying to say. It's these guys are like on a crusade, man. They're like and scams his namesake. You know, trying to just make sure that they can find anything to produce any proof of scamming, of invalid information, that to go against information that some of the XRP people and army and community bring about the hopes and the good and positive aspects or prospects of the cryptocurrency as we know as XRP and so forth, and even Ripple as a company. But even though Ripple really doesn't have any bearing on us on our wealth, we still look to them as the leadership in the XRP you know, XRP asset, because they have you know, ownership and authority over that asset. So, you know, that's it pretty much. All right, thanks. And I would like to leave off with one of these things. Just make sure you always do your own due diligence. I'm not a professional. That's my disclaimer. I'm not a professional advisor, you know, financial advisor, any of those things. And do not take from me, but take from those who know better and those who are licensed for it. I am an internet content creator through YouTube, giving you some good word about things that are going on in the crypto space and even the bad stuff, so we can know what to do and what not to do, where to be, who to take from and who not to take from. Okay, so do your own due diligence and make your own proper choices. Thank you. Yeah, have a good one, people. Till next time, stay with me. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button. I'm out. Peace.